the next thing we're gonna kind of do here is we're gonna start to add some of the details. Again, I won't belabor this too much because I know like a lot of you folks may end up deciding like, oh, you want to make your bird a little bit more unique, which I'm totally fine with. Yeah. This is not. I'm not going to be grading you heavily on like making sure like your character looks exactly the same. Yeah. I kind of want to just see what you folks are able to do with your animations. Yeah. So some of the best animations actually don't really necessarily have the best models. Yeah, obviously we do want to combine it eventually, but for now, yeah, as long as you have something to work with, I'll be happy with it. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to kind of look at is, if you notice, I've been slowly zooming in on this guy's like top of his head. If you take a look at your image, yeah, one thing we'll notice is that he does have kind of like two little bits of hair that are kind of, oh sorry, not hair, feathers. Yeah, so a bunch of feathers at the top of his head. So we're gonna really quickly kind of do something with that. I am going to start off with, let's say, the left side. So I'm gonna select these two right here. Okay, and I'm going to extrude this. Yeah, so I think this should be enough as far as the feathers go. To extrude, yeah, you can either do this one in two ways. You can either go edit mesh, extrude, or, and this is our shortcut over here, Command E. Both of them will work really well. Yeah. Okay. So every time you hear me say extrude, that's how we're going to be kind of pulling things out from your object. Yeah. I think some of you folks have some experience with this, but I'm not 100% sure. So I do know there's different experience levels in this class. Yeah. So pardon me if I'm being a little bit too what is it, by the books. But I'm going to select these two faces. Again, I'm going to be extruding, so I'm going to do a Command E over here. Your telltale that you have done an extrude is this little marker will pop up. Yeah, so it has your arrow for direction, it has your cube for scale, and it does have the overall circle if you're going to be doing any kinds of rotations. Yeah. Now, one thing I noticed is the hair, the base is a little bit on the smaller side compared to the head. So I am going to immediately, as soon as I am done going into extrude, I am going to go into my scale tool. So that's my R. Yeah, so your R. And then I'm just going to kind of scale this in a little bit. Yeah, and this is going to be where the original hair kind of emerges from. I'm also going to kind of set up this so that it's kind of rounded. So I'm going to go into my vertex mode. So right click vertex mode, then I'm going to select these four vertices, kind of use that, jump back into my scale tool, yeah, so R, and then kind of bring that inwards. Yeah, okay, and so I kind of have like something that'll pretty much work for like the first bit of feathers to come out the top of his head. After I'm done with that, I'm going to go back into face mode. Yeah, so right click face mode. Okay, and then this is just for my setup, so I actually can kind of move this back, maybe even rotate a little bit. Yeah, but this is again all set up for the next portion, which is going to be the feathers kind of emerging from the head. So I'm going to do an extrude again. So Command E, bring this new piece up. Okay, and then if you notice, it's kind of like a building. Yeah, so not the best looking thing out there. But I can then, after I kind of bring it up a little bit, I can go into my rotate tool, which is E. Yeah, so rotate tool, which is E, still doesn't make any sense. I don't know why that's the shortcut, but E for rotate. We're then going to rotate this, yeah. And I'm kind of setting ourselves up for the next section, yeah, because your hair will actually be kind of curling this way. Yeah, so if you can kind of see it's kind of curling that way. So I'm going to set us up over there. You'll also notice this is sticking straight up. So I do want to use the move tool to kind of get it going in that direction. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of have this, move this around, but I'm trying to set up my next section. Yeah. Okay, so that'll kind of be for the hair. I may actually expand this a little bit. So let me kind of make this a little bit wider, a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit more scaling over there. This is going to be your call. You can, again, do what you like for this. I am going to extrude again. So here's another Command E. Bring out this another piece here. Okay, and then we're going to start to see the shape. Yeah, it's starting to happen over here. I'm going to turn this once again. Bring this piece again kind of down. And then, let's see, maybe widen it just a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to make this also a little bit taller. Yeah, so scale it up a little bit. Again, that's my R key. Yeah. And then maybe I'll do one more. So I'm going to extrude a third time. And again, notice we're only messing with these two faces over here. Okay, so here's our third extrude. Okay, then I'm going to go to the scale tool. Yeah, so remember that's our R. You can scale it top to bottom, scale it left to right. Maybe do a little bit of rotation, so that's our E, remember, and then maybe kind of bring this down over here. But yeah, that'll kind of work for the hair right there, yeah. Okay, now you folks may be kind of looking at that skeptically, like, what the heck is that, yeah? But remember, this is just going to be your basic shape. When you go into this, back into object mode, yeah? So back into object mode by right-clicking and then pressing your 3 key, yeah? This is what we got, yeah? So we're kind of making that first feather. Not too bad, yeah? Okay. Again, if you need to make any more edits, yeah, always go back into 1 mode, yeah? But 3 mode will kind of give you a little bit of a preview. Okay, now if I'm okay with this, and I'm kind of all right with it for now, I am going to start with the next piece of hair, yeah? So not to worry, we do have these two over here, you know, so I kind of set us up for another set of faces, yeah, for the other feathers, yeah. So again, I'm going to extrude this one, same process, yeah. So for this one, if you want to kind of fast forward through this, feel free to. Again, all I'm doing is scaling it, yeah, and then I'm setting up the shape again. So I'm going to get my vertices on each of these corners, yeah. When I'm switching between these, yeah, so I Command E that I did extrude. Okay, then I'm going to go scale this, make this a little bit more rounded, yeah. Maybe kind of scale that in a little bit, yeah. So it's more this way than the other way, I think. Okay, and then again, I can select my two faces. Again, we do know it's going to kind of come out of the scalp a little bit, so I'm actually going to put this pretty close to the first one that we made, yeah. And then again, same part of the process. Command E to extrude, bring it up, get yourself ready for the next section. So I'm going to rotate, bring it over. This one kind of looks like it might be a little bit larger. That's going to be your call though. So I'm going to scale this and scale this. Yeah, maybe rotate it a little bit more again over here. Okay, and then I'm going to extrude another time. So Command E, bring that piece up. Oh boy, that looks crazy. So I'm going to definitely have to rotate and move this forward. Yeah, I think I will make this a little bit wider. Yeah, so just make that hair a little bit more extreme. And then I have one more extrude to go. Probably, I may change my mind. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of bring this piece out. It's going to look very, very like disproportionate. So I'm definitely going to scale this one in a bit. Scale a little bit shorter too, yeah. And then maybe have this kind of turned downwards a little bit, so kind of taking a cue from the other one as well, yeah. Okay, so we kind of have those two pieces. Again, if I go into object mode, press the 3 key. Okay, I'm starting to get my pieces up here. I can kind of take a look at it in my perspective view too. Right over here, I'm noticing it feels a little bit maybe too, yeah, it feels a little bit like too upright. So I'm going to go back into 1 mode. And I can still move these around, yeah. So for example, if I go into vertex mode, I can kind of select this, yeah, kind of move this around. So maybe I actually want this more down, more rotated down, yeah. So maybe something like this feels a little bit better. Okay, I can also go right click into edge mode, double click on an edge, yeah, and then so here's my double click, use this to rotate. Okay, and then again, kind of using the shaping the best that I can. Definitely this one is probably feels the most extreme, so I'm definitely going to right click, go into vertex mode, and then kind of move those around. You notice like I try to do like my edits, a lot of it in one of the orthographic views, so that would either be the front view or the side view. And the main reason I try to do that is so that when like I don't accidentally like over rotate, which is something that happens a lot if you spend too much time in the perspective view. Like you can kind of lose track of where you are in your scene. Yeah, so kind of like that. That's a little bit better. Maybe I'm gonna kind of move this one over a little bit. Yeah, and then one of the interesting parts about going into 3 mode, you're gonna notice is like even if things are like super close to each other, once you hit 3, you're gonna see that separation. Yeah, so you're gonna see that separation. All right. So again, you can kind of mess around with this. I'm kind of happy with how this is going, so I'm probably not gonna do too much more on here. But again, yeah, feel free to make your edits, yeah, and try to get the rest of the bird looking like the way you want it to look. Okay, but that'll be the feathers.